And now the United States says it is looking forward to measures that the Nigerian government will take on allegations of abuses against security agents indicted in the Lagos #EndSARS panel reports. Now, the U.S. says in a statement that it welcomes the conclusion of the panel sitting and is looking forward to the actions that the government will take. It says it is waiting for the Lagos State government's response as part of a process that represents an important mechanism of accountability regarding the #EndSARS protest and the events that took place near the Lekki toll gates. Now, with reactions still pouring in, trailing the published findings of the Lagos panel, much of which has been from civil society, we're now being joined by a critical stakeholder in the Nigeria civil society movement, Malachy Ugwummadu, a lawyer, human rights activist, and former president of the Committee for the Defense of Human Rights. We want to say a very big welcome to Newsday. Malachy, I want to say, let's start it off on this note. We've been hearing about this report and getting major reactions from we've been getting major reactions from far and wide concerning this. In terms of seeking redress, those victims, the ones that are alive, and the families of those that have passed on, what should they be seeking right now, or what should they be doing right now in terms of these reports?
Well, again, thank you for having me. I'm delighted that your question is kicking off this way. It is that first is gradually we're putting an end to the narrative of the federal government that nothing happened. Because there are direct victims, many of whom are known to us. In fact, I personally took petitions to the Judicial Panel of Inquiry, constituted pursuant to the Tribunal of Inquiry laws of Lagos State here in Lagos. The point about victims who are alive and who are diseased are literally of no moment now, considering the fundamental rights provisions of the Fundamental Rights Enforcement Procedure Rules 2019. 2009. It grants to victims of fundamental rights abuses, whether alive or dead, the opportunity to approach the high courts, whether high court or federal high court, within the states where the violation occurred, to seek redress and compensation. Now, in the case of persons who were eliminated, who were killed extrajudicially, albeit unlawfully, either their relations or relatives, friends, next of kin, or associates. In fact, NGOs, human rights organizations such as the ones I led, can approach the court on behalf of those people and seek adequate redress and compensation on their behalf. So there are multiple options available to them. First is that we must insist that this report should be officially released. We must escalate the campaign for the implementation of this report, considering the constraints that the Lagos State government may have. First, because they also testified even before the panel. Secondly, the agencies that have been indicted, particularly the law enforcement agencies, are agencies of the federal government, in respect of which or over whom they may not have adequate powers to penalize. So we have to understand the dynamics effectively to be able to situate the struggle within the context of what is about to happen. Let the white paper come out, let it be officially gazetted, let it be mailed to the public, and then we'll take it up from there. But I must commend the Nigerian youths, I must commend the Nigerian people, I must also commend the panel that was not swayed in any manner, in my view, pending when the report is officially out, beyond what is already in the social media, we'll be able to critically evaluate it as persons who participated in the proceedings. But by and large, the narrative that nothing happened is gradually taking the backstage, and we might be able, through this forensic evaluation of what happened, to put an end to that lie and situate it within the context of Nigerian history, because the events of leading up to October 20th, 2020, is a major curve and turn in the history of this country, where the youth of this country dramatized capacity, demonstrated patriotism, and, as it were, showed that they are part and parcel of this system and are willing to reinvent it for the betterment of the next generation.
Mr. Ugwummadu, thank you. That was a very good, spirited answer. Now, let's speak on the perception and the particular time we have now. We are at a time where we have been presented with evidence, still being disputed, but we have been gaslit for a long time. There have been different narratives as to what exactly happened, and now we have been given an official narrative. There have also been a few players, government agencies, who have stuck to the particular old narrative. What do you think should happen now in terms of bridging the gap between the perception and the reality? What can these government agencies do to gain the trust of Nigerians back again, seeing as how it has been eroded over the course of one full year with this whole situation that ended up being an actual massacre?
My sister, you need to understand where I stand. I am on the side of the victims. That is the business of a government that has exercised serious indiscretion. I think I'm even being charitable by saying indiscretion. They were mischievous and they were perfidious in the way they had. You can imagine seeing that was shown graphically. CNN conducted, even Arise was on ground. I mean, kudos to Arise in particular, as well as other media centers in this country. The media was effective in reporting what happened. The brutalization that went on hour by hour, minute by minute, direct concrete cases of people who were abused, shares of bullet shots, canisters, and so on and so forth. So a government that denigrated itself and sunk to the level of denying the obvious should assume the responsibility of at least apologizing. Because, as it were, the Constitution, under the fundamental right provision, starting from section 33 to section 44, talks about why you must apologize in the event of violation of the rights of Nigeria. Once it is established, you could say that this is a tribunal, is a judicial, a quasi-judicial entity that has these concrete cases. They have done and sat over this matter for over a year, for about a year. And so there is no other escape route. Alhaji Lai Mohammed, Abubakar, Malachy SAN, and a host of others who traveled on that uncharted course, on that unknown route, should swallow their pride, bite the bullet, and face the Nigerian people with at least an apology. That way, the reconciliation with the Nigerian people to find a way out of the exit this will commence. But what is more, it must not stop on apology.
All right, Mr.
A country that
for the brevity of time, I just want to throw in this here. Briefly, does this change protests in Nigeria, or will we still see business as usual when people go out there and they are being tagged as civil disobedience when they decide to probably fight for a cause?
My brother, the narrative is already changed. Don't forget that on the 20th of October 2021, against the permutation of the government, that they have sufficiently intimidated the Nigerian people and that they have cowed them to submission. The youth of this country beat them to their game, even with the battalion of the forces they mobilized. The show of desperation and bravado and brute force, the Nigerian people, particularly in the toll gate axis, demonstrated the creativity and the ingenuity with which they have pursued this issue and demonstrated again. Please make no mistake
Malachy, I want
about
to say
it.
many thanks to you.
The issue of demonstration have been settled.
For your time here on Newsday. Quite riveting, I must actually say. I want to say thank you very much.